Gothic, an introductory overview. This is a text in the Gothic language. This is the story of the prodigal son from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verse 11 and following. And I chose this text because that's the only text I could choose, because the only form in which we know the Gothic language, we only know it partially, is in the form of the translation of the Bible made by the Arian missionary Ulfilas in the 4th century AD. And thanks to this text, this translation, we know this language, and this is the first Germanic language that we know. So it's very important in comparative philology and polyglottery for many reasons. It is the only solid example that we have of an East Germanic language. We began this series of introductory overviews by looking at living Germanic languages. We saw 4 West Germanic languages and 6 variants of North Germanic languages. And then again, this is an East Germanic language, and it's a little bit different from the ones that we saw. It's different because it's older. It's different and interesting because not only is it older, it is more archaic. That is, it preserves more features in common with languages like Sanskrit and Greek than do other Germanic languages. It has some individual features that predate a lot of the important thoroughgoing sound changes and the likes that permeate other Germanic languages, such as, for example, there's no umlauting at all that happens in Gothic. Umlauting is when we have, for example, changing man to min, changing the vowel quality. Nothing like that is going on here. We have duals preserved to other degrees and other interesting features that make the study of Gothic the first step that you would want to take in approaching the Germanic language family, or comparative philology, or reconstructive linguistics. If you wanted to know what Proto-Germanic or Proto-Indo-European looked like, you would definitely want to begin looking at this language. Again, it's something that we only know in part through these translations. It's something that was spoken in the 4th and 5th centuries. Ostrogothic went into Italy, and Visigothic into Spain. And there is something that's also known as Gothic, Crimean Gothic. There were reports, and a 16th century traveler wrote some things down of a form of Germanic that he found being spoken in the Crimea, and it was called Gothic. That's an open question as to whether or not they're truly related. But here we have it, a language called Gothic that is very interesting from many perspectives in the realm of Germanic linguistics in general. So what does it look like? What does it sound like, and how does it work? What does it sound like? Obviously nobody knows. Nobody was back there then. Nobody made any recordings or the like. Some people feel more confident than others that we can have an idea based on comparative phonetics, comparative etymology, knowing how this was translated from the Greek, internal evidence and the like, that we can have a fair idea of what this sounded like. I'm a bit more skeptical, and I don't think it matters all that much, because, as I said, we can only read some translations of the Bible in it. So even though this is a totally dead and gone language, some people might want to be more careful about reading it than I'm going to be. Just looking at this page, what can we see? We do see some of the same TH sounds represented by the this thorn-like character, and we see some accent marks. We do see the macron from Latin indicating long vowels. The accent marks are used primarily on the diphthongs IH and AU, AI and AU, for etymological purposes, to distinguish them in other forms of the language. So I'm going to read and analyze this text something like this. Quathuf than mane sums eichter twan sununs. Quathuf, he, than, said, so he then said, mana, a man, sums, a certain man, eichter, had, twans, 2 sununs. And then he said, a certain man had 2 sons. Ja quath se juhisa isa tu atten, atta, gif mis sei undrinai mic dail eigenis, ja distailde im swe sein. Ja, and quath said, sa, the, yuhisa, the younger, isa, of them, du, to, atin, the father, ata, father, give, mis, to me, sai, that which undrenai is coming to me, mik, to me, dail, portion, eigenes, of possessions, ja, and disdailde, unseparated, divided, im, to them, sues, possessions, property, sein, his. So, the younger of them, the younger of the two sons, said to his father, Father, give to me that which is coming to me of my portion of the possessions. And his father divided his possessions among them. Ja affar ni managans dagans brachta saman alata sa juhisa sunus, ja aflaif in land faira wisando, ja jainer distahida thata sue sainata libans ustyurbida. Ja, and afar, after, ni, not, managans, many, dagans, days, brachta, brought, samana, together, alata, all, sa, the, yuhisa, the younger, sunus, the younger son, ja, and aflaif, went away, left, in, land, a country, a land, faira, far, wisando, being far away, ja, and jainer, yonder, there, dissipated, away, taida, dissipated, wasted, thata, the, sues sinata, the possessions, his possessions, libans, living, usturiba, riotously, unwisely, and after not many days, the younger son brought together all his possessions and went away into a faraway land, and there he dissipated his possessions, living riotously. Bitha van frawas alama var huhrus abers and gawi jainata, ja is dugan ala tharba wairthan. Bitha, when, than, then, frawas, away, alama was gone, when it was all gone, warth, became, hurus, a hunger, abers, a large, mighty, great, and throughout, gawi, gau, the region, jainata, that region, ja, and is, he, the son, dugan, began, ala tharba, all needy, very, very, very needy, very poor, huertan, to become. Then when he'd wasted all his property, a great famine came throughout that land, and he became very poor. He became very needy. Ja, gangans, gahaftida sik, sumana bairjane. I see I'm running out of time here. You can get your Bible out and look at Luke chapter 15 and compare the rest of this text that you're seeing. I just want to show you that if you're interested in studying Gothic, the classic place to go to begin with is Wright's series of the Grammar of the Gothic Language. That's the most complete in the Oxford Press. And then a man named William H. Bennett has the Introduction to the Gothic Language, which is part of a series of introductions to older Indo-European languages. It also has Old Irish. It's very interesting. So, Gothic. Here we have the first Germanic